Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do part 6 of my What If Deku was trained by the Straw Hat. In the last part, he basically defeated Mirio in one hit, since Hockey kind of counters Quirk as well. So, since Izuku always has a layer of armament Hockey around him, Mirio couldn't even pass through him, and since Izuku is, well, one, well, no, the hardest thing in that world. Like, a meteor could be falling and he could probably just break it in half with a single sword strike. And then hit it again a lot of times and basically just turn it to dust in like a minute or something. So he's strong. So, like I was saying, now it is the license exam arc. So when they go there and arrive, basically they talk to people. Izuku basically is a little, well, is taller than in the original since he had to get a lot of muscle and stuff like that. So he's about the same size as the other guy that basically a lot of people called Clone Deku. His quirk is basically the Pokemon move Seismic Toss. Not Seismic Toss, but just, well, Earthquake basically. If he touches the ground, he basically makes it shake a lot. The more he makes the ground shake and the stronger it is, the more recoil he's going to get. But while talking, Izuku basically hears something and it's like, oh shit, they saw us fight, we don't know their quirk. And so he explains it to everyone, which everyone is a lot stronger. And I think I forgot to put the arc completely about, well, the part about something, but in the first turning arc, Tsuyu did try the Rumble Ball, and it augmented her strength of a lot, as well as kind of turning her more frog-like for a bit, lasting 3 minutes, and it takes a large amount of energy out of her. But at the same time, it basically makes her kind of immune to 2 or 3 things that would normally harm her, like she can go in colder environment or hotter environment. Not like resist cold completely, but like she can stay a little more on the freezing side. Momo can basically use 3 sword style well. Not as great as Zoro in the anime or Deku in this, but she's kind of still able to fight against a lot of people, and basically she could fight against masters of normal fighting style pretty easily. Ojiro and Kirishima can basically use the type of combat that Sanji used, as well as the fighting style they use in the anime, as well as being a lot stronger. Like, Kirishima can go unbreakable if he wants to, and he is tough because he basically fought against Izuku, which broke his hardening a lot. So yeah, basically everyone is really upgraded from what they are in the anime. Like, Kaminari is completely immune to his electricity and can dish out something strong enough to at least shock Izuku. So he dish out a lot of electricity. Um, since he did fight against Enel. Well, what Deku feels is basically like when you have static on you and that you touch someone else. That's basically what he feels. But that's still pretty good, since basically even getting punched, he doesn't feel a thing. So basically everyone is a lot stronger. Bakugo can basically make the explosion that he can make with his gauntlet in the anime basically at this point, but just normally and without even using his full strength. So really strong basically. Shoto can basically make blue flames, and his ice is capable of breaking, well, resisting practically anything and almost unbreakable. Um, yeah, so basically everyone is a lot stronger. So yeah, basically everyone is way stronger. So when the fight starts, Bakugo and Shoto stays close to them. If you're hearing a TV right now, it's because my grandpa has hearing aids but never wears them. So his TV, he basically puts it at like 20. Then when he leaves his room to go do something else, he leaves the freaking door open for no fucking reason. And it's really annoying. So yeah, if you're hearing TV in the background, it's because of that. If I sound totally, how do you say, angry and has enough with it, basically it's because he does that every time. Okay, so let's go back to whatever. When the exam starts, basically everyone goes for them, and not Luffy, but Izuku basically tells everyone to, no. When the guy starts making a seismic toss, Izuku basically just punch the ground and break it, stopping the seismic, the ground shaking, but basically cracking the entire arena in one punch. So like, the arena is really big, and there's crack everywhere. Like, everyone felt it. And the guy got scared because he used his strongest earthquake because he knew Izuku was strong. And the guy just punched the ground to stop it. Basically, after that happened, Izuku just got right in his face and basically pushed down every one of them with, basically Black Leg style. Then everyone in Class 1A were close enough to them to basically start throwing their balls and touching about 3 each. Then after all that happened, Izuku basically touched 3, got 3 points as well. So everyone in Class 1A passed that. Then he gets down, tells Ochako to touch everyone, which he does. Then tells the tape guy to basically wrap everyone. Izuku takes every piece of tape and basically just starts jumping up, getting the hell out of there. With every student basically floating behind him. then telling him that they could have done something to do it alone, which he said, yeah, but keep your skills for the next test. So that's going to be easier. Now all of you are full of energy still, and I'm basically unexhaustible, so I'll just keep us out of range. So basically, a teacher from another school asked, what the hell was that? Which, well, yes, a teacher from another school, but it is the hero. Um, I never remember her name. Basically, the one that her quirk makes people laugh. She asked what it was and how he did that, and he basically told her. He basically just took out a recorder with some um, what is the name of that? Um, Earphones. Gave it to her and said, "This is the entire story of the kid." So she basically started listening to it as well as looking at stuff, and she basically hear all of the thing that he went through, all that happened to him, all that he did, all of the training he had to do, and basically at the end it goes to recovery guild that basically says all of the injuries sustained, and saying that if anyone has the same injury as him, it would be extremely dangerous for them because for some reason he was able to survive them, but normal being would die from it. Like, not a chance of survival. So yeah, All Might, I forgot to say this, All Might is still, um, if I remember correctly, still has his power, I think. But I don't remember if I said that. Kamnari with One for All is really going to be overpowered in the next thing. But yeah. So basically, in the next part of the exam, the same thing happened with Save the Innocents. And basically, Izuku told everyone that he is going to stay close to that place, which a lot of teachers and other students basically were like, so you're, well, laughed and said, so you're not going to help. But every other student in class 1A were like, good, that's going to be easier for everyone. And they basically started running, like full sprint. Ida grabbing like, two people, bringing them to Izuku. Izuku starting to do a full diagnostic. And basically looking at the false injury they have and giving them what they would truly need for that. Which a lot of teachers are like, whoa, wait. He's a hero, he has all of that power, but he's also a medic? Then other classes, well, other school basically sees that he's doing it faster than any other medic, and that he's able to do it for multiple patients at once. And so when they bring people to the drop zone, basically they bring them directly to Izuku and tell him, and most of them that basically laughed at him says sorry for laughing at you, and then go back in. Then when the villains arrive, basically one of the medics says they're going to need you if that for that. Go. Which he basically jumps up and and just screams out loud, "Everyone, drop down!" Which everyone in Class 1A basically screams it again, and tells every school, "Get the hell on the ground!" So once every then Bakugo basically jumps up, looks underground and see a lot of people on the ground, but none of the villains, and basically scream to Deku, "Do it now!" And Izuku used the technique to cut without cutting, and basically sliced through every single man on the battlefield that were still standing, basically knocking them out because they felt the full strength of a cut without actually having the damage. So yeah, basically it puts down anyone. Then Gang Orca basically comes out because he basically saw what just happened and went straight for Izuku thinking, "I have to stop him." They know he's strong, but even though that happens, they weren't told about Izuku being able to beat All Might and 9 other teachers from UA, except for 2 people, which are Endeavor, which he was told because Shoto was basically telling his family, and Endeavor heard that and was like, "So that kid is able to beat All Might and 9 other heroes? Whoa." The other hero that learned about it was basically, well, the girl that makes everyone laugh because Aizawa told her how strong he was after she asked. So Yangaraka arrived right in front of him, telling him that he's going down, and Izuku basically armored his hand completely to the max that he can do, and just punched Gangarka once, sending him across the battlefield. Then he says to everyone to bring every other people that were hurt here, and so it ended with him basically getting the most point because he didn't go directly in the city to help people, but he was better as a medic. So with everyone bringing people to him, it was kind of a lot easier to do. So after that happened, basically everyone in class 1A passed. Practically everyone who passed in the anime passed. Except, well, Shuro and Bakugo for the exact same reasons. They did get the points in the first thing, but in the second one, Bakugo was still shouting at some people, so he lost the points. And Shuro, I don't remember what he did, but he still didn't pass anyway. Oh yeah, right, he was trying to fight Gang Orca, but he was fighting against the wind guy instead. In this one, let's say what happened was basically that both of them got in each other's way while they were trying to get people. So yeah, basically everyone that won got their license, everyone else that lost all didn't get them. So afterward they were told about going to an agency, and Night Eye asked for Izuku, not Kaminari, because yes, he knew that Kaminari had One for All, but Kaminari was using it well. And after the training with Izuku, he was basically already able to use a large part of it. So basically, after all happened, Izuku was tasked to go to Night Eye by All Might. So Well, basically everyone goes to the same agency, so when Izuku arrived to Night Eye's agency, Mirio basically bring him to Night Eye, Izuku using his observation hug he constantly basically sees before entering Bubble Girl, and basically says, "What the hell kind of agency is this?" Which Mirio asks what he means, and then he says, "There is a girl being tickled in there on a machine." Seriously? Which he said, "Wait, how do you know that?" Which basically he said, "Observation," which basically he tells that just before opening the door. So, Night Eye tells, Mirio did tell Izuku to make Night Eye laugh, and Izuku basically just did an impression of Usopp, which Night Eye didn't really get at all. And then he said, "Oh, right. Sorry, that's more of something that would make anyone on the crew I had laugh. I'm too used to that humor now." Which Night Eye's like, "So you have humor, just not one that everyone would understand." Which Izuku basically says, "Well, yeah. I mostly heard for a while the joke of a skeleton, so that's kind of long." Which both Night Eye, Bubble Girl, and Mirio were like, "The joke of a skeleton?" Which he said, well, no, not Mirio, because he knew about everyone in the crew, and in the recording, basically it explains, well, it says the lie about someone creating a different reality where different things can happen. In that reality, basically, devil fruit and stuff like that, and and that three of his crewmates had one. One became the captain, and he had the rubber fruit. The second one was a girl that could create part of her body practically anywhere, which was the Hino no Mi, if I remember correctly, or flower fruit, something like that. Bloom fruit, I think. And then about the skeleton who ate the Yomi no Mi, that revived him, but basically he was a skeleton when he found his body again. He basically put one of the recorders on the table and basically just makes it play. Which Night Eye then goes and grabs Izuku's face and kind of checks it a bit, as if to ask if the face was like this or like this, when in reality he was just activating his quirk. Then, after a bit, he closed the recording and said, "Look, I'm going to listen to this later. For now," he made a wave of his hand to say, "I'm going to talk with Izuku in private." So Bubble Girl and Mirio basically left. He basically Night Eye grabbed the papers and the small mark that he's supposed to put on it, and he says that to enter here, Night Eye needs to put that. Then he does the same thing as in the anime, hitting the table, then telling him to try and get it. When Night Eye starts using his quirk, Izuku basically looks as far as possible in the future, which after 6 years basically like 10 or something seconds, and basically sees every way Night Eye could move, different depending on how he's going to move, which the second Izuku activates observation haki, Night Eye basically see thousands of different futures, just one after the other, basically just appearing. And he's like, what the? And then the mark isn't in his hand anymore. With Izuku telling him, I don't know what you tried to do, but the second I activated my observation haki, all I saw was a single future where you just stood there. What was it? Which Night Eye asked him, what do you mean you only saw one future? So Izuku basically explains to him haki, which he is the only one in this world that can have it. Armament haki, which he then shows. He puts it around his entire body, as well as his swords and stuff. Then he says Conqueror's haki, which is harder to show, just like observation haki. He explains what Conqueror haki is, which is basically or force someone to get down or to just knock someone out completely. Which, if I remember correctly, I didn't give him because... Or did I give it to him? If I didn't give it to him, I'm not giving it to him anyway. If I did give him to him, well, I'm taking it off because basically it would make him way too powerful anyway. Well, he's already the most powerful thing in this universe for them, basically. But he explains observation haki, which basically is that lets you see around you emotions, where people are, and can show you stuff that move faster than light, which basically at this point he probably moves like about 60% the speed of light, which is impossible to do in reality. But Izuku basically gets exponentially stronger and learns, and his body becomes better, faster, stronger, everything a lot faster, and he basically still wanted to be exactly the same way, stronger always. So his speed, strength, and everything augmented over the rest of the time that after he came back, which was basically 6 years, I think, or something like that. But yeah, basically he can move 60% of light speed, which, hell, even if someone in this universe can do, he can basically dodge them anyway. So, after explaining everything to Night Eye, Night Eye accepts him and basically tells him that he wants to learn the full story, so he grabs the recorder and says that he's going to keep it. Which Izuku doesn't have any problem with it. So, Mirio comes back in, then he gets told to bring Izuku on a patrol, which, while on the patrol, they find Eri, and he senses her emotion, scare, but not from him, from the man that's following her. And just because of that, he told Mirio, get in the ground, grabbed Eri and said, we leave. And basically, I know he gave Eri to Mirio. Mirio was basically told to run, and what was the freaking name of the guy? Okay. Psyche or something like that. Basically, he tried to use his quirk on Izuku to destroy him. Izuku put armament haki on his entire body, and basically his entire body, every weapon he has an item on him, and basically it didn't work on Izuku, and then a single punch put him out, like out cold, one shot, done. So he grabbed him, basically um, grabbed special cuffs, well, not cuffs, but let's say some tape, just normal tape, and literally just kind of put around his hand completely. Then grabbed a piece of it, kept it in his hand, and basically sent Hockey through it, basically rendering them almost unbreakable. Well, unbreakable for this world at least. And basically they brought Eri and him to Night Eye. Well, they called Night Eye. Basically, the guy was screaming that they would have his head. When Night Eye heard about it, he asked why the hell did he do that? And then Izuku said because she was scared from him, and that all I sensed from him was malice. If you wanted, if he was to take her back, I would have destroyed the entire place myself. Which Night Eye kind of got that, okay, yeah, it was serious. So he basically told every hero in the area to haul us to get there, basically to the front of the place and where Izuku is. Basically, he looks at Chuck at his psychic hand and basically tells him, I really don't want to do this, but the only way for me to make sure that you don't do anything is to seal your hand for good. Which he basically, well, not seal his hand for good, but make sure that his hand won't be able to touch anything, not even him. Which Mirio tells him, what are you going to do? Which Izuku basically just, no, he doesn't cut them off, but he basically puts the tape around, keeps the tape around them, and send as much haki through them to basically seal them for as long as possible. Basically making like the poneglyphs, but just temporary. Let's say they last for at least an hour. So basically when the police arrive there, he tells them that what he put around his hand will last for an hour, and to get something to hold him back as fast as possible. Then Heroes told him that what he did was really crazy, and he just said no. What was crazy was them taking a little girl hostage. I'm going in. And basically just leaving in front of them. Basically every hero telling him, don't do anything like this. Which Izuku basically grabbed the climb attack, placed it in front of him, and sent a massive wave of cold air in it. Well, out of it, after opening the door and basically sending it so far in. Tsuyu and Ochako arriving to this one. Well, not to this one, but to the other place, the front. And when they opened the door, she basically felt the cold air, and she knew what that was, and basically told everyone to stand back, took the climb attack out, and said Izuku's trying to freeze them. And basically placed the climb attack in front of her and used the same freezing move that basically sends a massive amount of cold air, but what she was doing was different. She was making rain clouds inside of the base and sending as much as possible. basically making it so that it would froze and stick everyone or to the ground or basically freeze them over, which they basically did for like 20 minutes. Basically, they already knew about every other exit except this one, so there was hero every place. So anytime someone was coming out because of it was cold and it was starting to freeze, they were captured. So basically, they did the whole raid. The first day Izuku was doing a patrol, and basically Izuku saved Eri in that moment. When he came back to Eri, her quirk hadn't gone out of control yet, but her horn was big, and it was ready to do it. Um, well, looking inside, someone found the shots, and basically they broke them because, well, destroyed them completely because no one has to use them. When they were close to Eri, Izuku looked in the future as far as he possibly could because she was starting to look uncomfortable and she was starting to be scared. And he saw that in 5 seconds her quirk would activate on its own and start basically blasting everyone, and he basically told everyone to make room around her and to call Aizawa and to tell him to haul ass over here. Basically, someone did, and the second they did, her quirk basically started blasting, which Izuku covered his entire body in hockey and grabbed her. She got scared because, no, he's going to DH, but all of her quirk was starting to be just kind of put around him, and nothing was happening, with him telling her, as long as I have this around me, I'm not going to be hurt by your quirk, no matter what's going to happen. Don't worry, I'm here. Which, it still started going stronger and stronger and stronger, because Aizawa was like 20 minutes from there on the car, so basically they told them to get as fast as possible, and everyone was basically looking at Deku, whose was just basically hugging Eri for the whole time, with her basically calming down, her quirk still increasing in power but not actually harming him. Nobody got close because he basically was telling everyone to stay away. When Aizawa arrived, he basically saw Eri and Izuku just giving her a hug, and he stopped her quirk, which made her pass out. So Night Eye doesn't die, Mirio doesn't lose his quirk, every hero that were hurt or badly injured, that didn't happen, and Eri basically found someone that she was already, well, okay to stay close to, because she saw that her quirk was no match for him. It couldn't even do anything to him, so he was good. So, yeah, I'm going to end it here. I really thought of how Deku would react for the, well, in that arc basically. And seriously, Deku wants to help everyone and can sense emotions. If he senses someone being scared, he's going to help. There's no helping it at that point. He he doesn't think he does think compared to Luffy, but he still has the same impulsive way of acting to help people that actually ask for it or needs it. So he kind of just went overboard the second it happened. So yeah, hope you liked it. Tomorrow, well, in literally 2 hours for me, I'm going to do my next part of my leveling deku. Like I said, it's going to be about 30,000 years for him, which is going to be multiple videos, like a lot. There might be a twist at the end, I cannot tell about what can happen or something. Well, not really a twist, but like something will happen that you might not really expect from it. Because I'm telling it outright, he's going to find a way to go back home. I told it outright, one day in his old world is 100 year in his new one. And I'm telling it outright, he has a perfect memory, he doesn't age, and he will have multiple lives that he will do during all of that time. So yeah, if you really want to see the next part of Leveling Deku, or the festival arc for Straw Hat Deku, basically just tell me in the comments. Or if you want to see another type of what if, like if you have any what if suggestions, I'm taking. Right now what I'm doing is basically I'm trying to create some new what ifs so that I can basically just choose which one I do next in all of those without having to be like on the same 5 every time that I do videos. So if you have any suggestion, put it in the comment section. I would love to hear them. So yeah, this was part 6 of What If Deku was trained by the Straw Hats. Hope you liked it. Natsu out.